Welcome back to Adam's Dirty Garden. Argos is joining me today for now, looking for something to kill. So this video, I want to kind of take it to the next phase of my attempt to clone my fig trees. I'd started back in about May when I took my razor blade, cut into the branches, and wrapped them in seed starting mix. Used some grafting tape, which is just saran wrap, plastic wrap, to seal it up, keep that moisture in there, and then covered it with the aluminum foil to keep the sun off. So now the next phase is to go through, cut it just below what is hopefully the new root ball, and then trim up all the new growth so that the plant will then direct its energy to developing a substantial root ball. So my tools I've got a bucket of water, so when I cut these, I'm just going to unwrap them, get all the plastic and all that stuff off, and just keep them in my bucket so you get nice and hydrated until I'm ready to go pot them up. I've also got my saw. I've got some in here that are pretty decent size. I've got one in the back here that's probably about maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches. I'm not sure that one's going to do all that much because it's a huge branch that I'm trying to clone. So it's unlikely that the root ball that it's going to develop is going to be substantial enough to keep it alive, but we'll see. And then the one I'm going to use the most is my pruners. So with these, I'm just going to cut at the end, right below. And so you can kind of tell too, like I noticed I needed to do this because the branch was initially up here and then it started drooping. So it's now kind of hinging in that area that's that I previously cut. And then all these branches that I've got that I'm cutting all these from, I'm going to end up taking them all the way back to the stump. I don't want them. These things are plenty full. So I got it cut. I'm going to go through, trim it up. I don't want all these branches on here. I may leave a couple so it can still pull nutrients through the leaves, you know, get a little energy. So I think I'm going to do is top it right here. Get rid of any fruit. You know, I don't want that fruit on there because the plant is going to try to put its energy into the fruit instead of into the roots where I need it. And just get rid of a few of the leaves going in my coffee. Yep, right there. Take a little swig. Still got my Nicolas Cage mug. Ooh, today it's definitely the excited Nicolas Cage. All right, time for the big reveal. I've also got my knife so I can cut off the plastic wrap easier. So I'm just scoring it, getting it to where I can rip it. And already seeing some somewhat decent roots, so not a really thick root ball yet, but it is something that's at least gonna pull some. Oh, yep. All right, so yeah, not substantial, but I do think it might be enough to get this thing to root. So what I'm gonna do actually is cut this back even further. There's a bunch of little nodes and stuff here where it'll still branch out. Figs are very, very hardy and resilient trees. And if anything, I think I may have left this on there too long, as it looks like it's just a little rotted. I'm gonna take that down. And I think I've got 6 of these total, so I've got plenty of opportunity to see what method works best. I did some variations of how I pack the seed starting mix into it, different size branches. Generally, the smaller the branch, the better. Yeah, all right, so I'm gonna finish all this up and then we'll do a little summary at the end. So this is a significantly better root ball that I was hoping to see. So very happy with that one. I'm gonna get this thing trimmed up and get it in the water. All right, well, out of the 6 attempts that I made, I had 2 with successful roots, 1 with a really good root system, the other one moderate. So I noticed though that the ones where I just scarred the surface of the bark, there was no substantial roots at all, if any. So that's not going to be the method I do again. The one that did work the best, so I had 3 where I cut over 50% through the bark, packed it full of that potting soil, and out of those, out of the 3, I've got 2 that ended up rooting pretty well. So I think what you got to do is go through and really interrupt the flow of nutrients heading up to the main branch, or sorry, the growth part of the branch, and then that'll eventually force it to feel like it needs to develop new roots, because it's not getting as much energy as it would if you just scarred it. When you scar it, it'll eventually heal. I started noticing the bark kind of starting to curl over and trying to heal itself, and likely if it was in a drier environment, it would have healed up just fine. So yeah, next time I'm going to make some more attempts on this tree to kind of fine tune my process. I'm going to probably select more younger growth as well. That should be getting more nutrients its way and just more growth overall, so it should produce roots better than the stuff that's already wood. But fig trees are the plants, when you get them in the store, they're not grown typically from seed or rootstock. They're not grafted like you would with apples. Really any other fruits tend to be grafted to a rootstock. Figs lend themselves very easily to cloning. In my limited experience with cloning was the lemon tree that I had success with, and now the fig tree. I have cloned basil, various little plants with moderate success, but this is the first attempt with the fig tree, and I think overall considered a success even just to have one. So I've got 2. I'm gonna go get those potted up, and then we'll see how the growth goes from there. So hope you enjoyed, and thanks for following along. Stay dirty.